some numbers, man. Gonna subtract them too. Numbers up to and from 10. Doing them all for you. 2 plus 7 is 5. 2 and 3 are
so many people.
3. You're getting very quick, man, in everything you do. See if you can guess the answers before I sing them to you. 8 minus 6 is 4. Well, you did all right. Well, you're doing all right. All right, man.
Warm up. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can I not be heard? Can you hear me? Why is the microphone not working? Weird BetterHelp stuff. Can you hear me? I don't know what the weird BetterHelp stuff is. Can you hear me? Can the audience hear me? Yup, yup, yup. Yup, 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 yup. Yep, 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 yep. So, I'm a little bit early, and that's okay. Barely. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's cranked up, dog. All the way. Oh, I just realized how tired I am. I go to the beach every day, so I try to get worn out at the beach. And then when it's time for boiler room, I'm super tired. So welcome, Jay's Analysis Nerds. Oh, shit, I'm so tired I can't even think. Boiler room is going to be here in a little bit, but I came on early. We always get weird here. I came on early to screw around. Why else? And so I got a new video on Maniac. You guys should watch if you haven't seen it. The algorithm is messing me up again when I posted that video last night and today with almost 30,000 subscribers. My videos get 1.5 thousand views, 800 views. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. 1.7 thousand views in 20 hours. Anyway, watch that video. Watch the ASMR video. I thought it was funny. Some people were commenting about my dishes. I don't got a live-in, so you can bitch elsewhere. Who is your Carl Weathers? Carl Weathers says my Carl Weathers. We are taking super chats. Already got one. Thank you, AI Howard. Like hours ago. That dude was ready for this boiler room. He was like, damn, dude. I'm throwing in Mammon early. James Ellroy's Underworld USA trilogy is truly the great American novel. I'll have to check that out. I do like other James Ellroy stuff that I am familiar with. American Tabloid, Colt 6000, Bloods Are Over. Yeah, definitely need to up my game when it comes to noir, Do you like the noir genre? I prefer the noir genre. And anyway, have people not seen these ASMR videos? They're the stupidest thing imaginable. And the easiest thing to make a parody of. I can't believe I hadn't seen anybody making parodies of these. And these get millions of views. Mainly because it's just some chick with a cute face licking things and making noises. I mean, we have entered Tard Nation. Tardocracy. We live in a tardocracy because that gets 8 million views, and I bust ass making videos all week, and I get like 1,000 views, 1.5 thousand views. So what's the point of all this? I don't know. It stands for some sciencey sounding term, audio sensory, blah, blah, blah. It gives some people tingles. You know, like somebody I was going to scrape fingernails on a chalkboard ASMR, which I thought was funny, but I ain't had no chalkboard. So I just improvised. So all my videos are improv. People always bitch, say, why do you make these weird videos? I've made weird videos since I started this channel. And it's not going to stop either until they delete me from existence. Am I praying? Man, I got the microphone in my fucking face, dude. I don't know how else to make it any... I don't know. Let's see. Sometimes when you plug Apple settings, they like reset the volumes to shit. Let's see. That's what it is. Why do they do that, man? Apple will just reset settings. It's really annoying. So you always have to go in and like raise the volume again, which I just did. So thank you. What are we talking about? John Gorras for $5. Did you ever see Terror Vision? It's Charles Band. I think you would enjoy it. I haven't, but sounds up my alley. Terror Vision. Let's see what that is. Ooh, yeah. I like that damn poster. That looks cool as shit right there. That is a poster from 80s hell. Look at that. Sweet, dude. People of Earth, your planet is about to be destroyed. We are terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. I got an ad from a Nigerian princess named Prince Kumar. And something tells me this profile is fake. I don't know, but I went ahead. She said, give me $10,000 and I'll pay you back next week $100,000. So I trusted her. So all the donations that everybody gave me when the traumas happened last month, I gave it all to the Nigerian princess. Joking, I didn't do that. Yeah. Yeah, I forget that Apple will reset the settings to turning your mic down. So the Boiler Room crew will be calling in about 30 minutes, and I just wanted to turn this thing on and chill. Why not? Talk about Prince Kumar. Prince Kumar of Nigeria. Prince Kumar of the Nigeria. Oh, that reminds me that there's a funny article we could talk about. Prince Kumar of the Nigeria. We can read the BBC Pigeon. The BBC Pigeon article. And yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time around Nigerian voices to do a proper Nigerian voice. So I don't really know what the proper Nigerian voice is. Where'd it go? Yeah, people don't... If you've not heard of Pigeon, this is, you know, third world speak in some places, I guess. And the BBC now supports this. It has for the last 6 months. I've tweeted about it. And they speak, they because they are weaponized news, obviously. It's British intelligence run. They now write articles in Pidgin for whoever speaks Pidgin, which is basically like old school Ebonics, like ancient Ebonics. Another woman done die after Brazilian bomb to add extra akibi. Well, thankfully, I don't require extra akibi because I got akibi junk in my trunk. So we got plenty of booty over here. We don't need them more bum. If you laugh, you're racist. Don't laugh. You can't laugh at this. And anyway, go watch my ASMR video because you're a loser if you get tingles from girls squishing bananas and squishing slime and licking things and whispering in your ear, making popping noises and rubbing microphones. And it's the stupidest thing of all time, but it gets 8 million views. So I guess I'm just going to have to become more retarded, become total tard before I can actually get a real large-sized audience. Somebody's tweeting at me something about the Orthodox Church, Bartholomew being a tool of the CIA. Yeah, exactly. I've talked about it for a decade. Thank you all for finally jumping on the Jay's Analysis boat and realizing this after a decade. When I was called crazy 10 years ago talking about it, people tried ruining my name and shit. It was insane 10 years ago. You don't know if you weren't woke 10 years ago and doing all this conspiracy shit back then, which I was, you just have no idea. You don't know what it was like, and people would try to shut you down, and they'll try to go after you, and they'll try to get you thrown out of churches. It was just crazy. It was a bunch of loons. So things are better 10 years later. But I have to add that, I've been vindicated. I mean, almost everything I've talked about and known about for over 10 years, I've been completely correct about. Deftly ignorant, $5. Excuse me, Anthony Cavallo, $5. Thank you, Anthony. Some love for the volume crank. Some love for the volume crank. Some love for the volume crank. Get yourself a bunch of crank and do your crank drugs. Hey, some love for the volume crank. That's a little free improv for you, Anthony, for your $5. I don't even know what drug is crank anyway. Drug slangs are funny, and it's funny how they go in and out of style too. Hey man, got any zoink? Yeah, I'm all out of zoink because I'm hooked on the stuff, man. I zoink. I'm a morning zoinker. Are you? Yeah, man. All the kids are on zoink these days. Gunt? Are you taking gunt? Have you been smoking gunt, son? Son, the local news said teens are gunting. Teens are smoking gunt. Which, by the way, speaking of Emma Stone and the Netflix show, there's a funny skit about that on the Saturday Night Live that Emma Stone hosted about the local news that makes nonsense into things that parents are supposed to be worried about. Souping. Teens are souping. That's a funny skit. Look it up. Aristoxenus. Do you have an analysis of the Anthony Hopkins film Magic? No. I'm sorry. I don't even know what it is. Let's see. Anthony Hopkins. I mean, I'm a movie dude, but a lot of times I don't. So, Anthony Hopkins stars as a dungeon master in Magic: The Gathering, Sir Anthony Hopkins leads a band of sprightly wizards through a quest starring The Rock and Tom Green. Now, I've never heard of this. No, I'm joking. That's not real. I made that up. Magic. That's what it would be if I was in it. Magic. Anthony Hopko. Magic, 1978. Oh, is this a ventriloquist? I hate ventriloquist movies. They're so dumb. Ugh. Remember the one that Mystery Science Theater did? It's pretty good. Devil Doll, is that it? But I've not seen Magic. I guess I'll add it to the cult film list. Whoa, it's a young Anthony Hopkins there. It's like a hipster Anthony Hopkins. Devil Doll with the band? No. I don't know who that is. Devil Doll MST3K. That's a fun one. It's a Mike episode. Yeah. Devil Doll. Come on. I'm having to live. Yeah, Devil Doll. Devil Doll. I'll have to check that out, dude. Thanks. I will. Lil LIL reminder here. Lil reminder that I will be in LA soon for this event. If you're in Malibu, LA area, drive to Malibu Canyon. I'll be speaking the 13th at noon about Laurel Canyon. I'll be near Laurel Canyon speaking about Laurel Canyon. I'll be in Topanga Canyon talking about Laurel Canyon and signing books. And this is a big hippie fair. A lot of hippies there. But also not just hippies. Other people's too will be there. And we're going to be talking about social engineering, Tavistock Institute in Laurel Canyon. Because this really blows a lot of people's minds. A lot of people don't know about, you know, the Dave McGowan material. And so, you know, my book is generally grouped with Dave's book. Amazon grouped it that way. And, you know, they're in the same vein. My book's more of a esoteric, philosophic approach, but some of the same ideas. But thank you, Aristoxenus. I will check out Magic. I'm all over the place, I know. But that's because of the Aikiki in my boom boom. Me got the extra Aikiki in me boom boom. Me hope you got Aikiki in boom boom too. And I tweeted out this meme, and everybody said, oh, Jay's calling out Sargon. Sargon ain't going to debate me. I didn't tweet it because I thought he would debate me. I tweeted just because I thought it was funny. So people said, why are you attacking Sargon? A meme is not an attack, dude. Get off your SJW tip. Get off that SJW tip, dog. A meme is not an attack. A critique of Jordan Peterson is not an attack. It's just simply that. A critique. So, may also have... oh, yeah, and I will be on Sam Tripoli's podcast. I will be in studio at All Things Comedy. So I'm excited about that. I thought Sam was gonna cancel on me, and he came through. So thank you, Sam Tripoli. I'm honored. Thank you for having me. He's got a pretty big show, you guys. I mean, Sam's podcasts get 30, 40, 50,000 listens, and his videos get 20, 30,000 views. So, you know, that's 50, 60,000 audience. That's big. That's a good audience. So that's going to be at the same time that I'm out there. That worked out good. And I've got the TV show that I've mentioned many times. We are filming out there as well while I'm out there. That's all I can say. Can't say anymore. And that doesn't mean that it's going to exist. It just means that you know how this stuff goes. There's going to be an attempted attempt. So who knows? But we progress past contract step into the next step, and that's a good thing. So we'll have to see. You never know, if stuff is going to get picked up or not. So it's like esoteric, or like Hollywood Decoded. Fingers were crossed, but don't think there's ever going to be a season 2 of Hollywood Decoded. And when you do this kind of stuff, you learn there's all these other factors that come into play. That the variables, the unpredictables. You can't predict if a certain company is going to be behind your project. You can't predict if there's going to be proper marketing. You can't predict if there's going to be the right type of editing to put it together. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving examples of things. So, you could have like a people in a company who love your project and they want to promote it. And then you could have a different department, maybe marketing, that doesn't get it and doesn't want to promote it. And so you could have these social justice people in a different department can have the power to shut your thing down, or to not get it promoted, or to not have any advertising behind it, and it doesn't get renewed because no ad money was put into it, or very minimal. And the CEO or owner of a company could love it. So even the higher ups can't, completely make sure that something goes through at times. At this lower level of stuff that I do stuff, because I'm not operating at like, the big boys. We're not at that level. We still small. We still the little boys. We still the little boys. We the little boys. Anyway, so you can come to the fair, watch for the Tinfoil Hat podcast. I'll be live in studio. Be cool to see those studios. Maybe Bill Burr will show up. I doubt it, but that would be cool. Anyway, little boys with big brains. I think I like that. Thank you. But of course, having big brains doesn't do much and doesn't get you anywhere. So it might help you a little bit, but the general masses are utter tards, and they love girls squishing slime and making breath noises by the millions. So if I was a thought squishing bananas between my gazoombas, I get 16 zillion views. But if I talk about anything that a person above a 100 IQ knows about, you can expect to get 95% less views than a girl squishing bananas between her gazoombas, which is, by the way, the stupidest name for teats. I can't think of a dumber name for boobs. Can you? Can you think of a knockers? Like gazoombas is even stupider than knockers. Teat is fun. It sounds mousy. It sounds small. Teat. So anyway, no, Sargon is not going to ever debate me. That would be a joke anyway. Could you imagine that debate? I mean, he lost other debates, and he lost debates with people who aren't even trained in philosophy. So imagine if he debated somebody who actually knew the fallacies. That would never happen. I just tweeted it because I thought it was funny. Shots fired. Uh-oh, shots fired. And thank you, Daniel Spalding, for this funny meme. I didn't see Blade until like a few months ago. I went through the 90s and I missed Blade. I never saw it. And it was a lot of 90s cheese fun. I had fun with Blade. Some guy just tweeted me Hey Jay, Dyer, do you know that Twilight was funded by the CIA? No, I hadn't heard that one, but I know that what's her face is a Mormon. And so, but I'd be interested, Mr. Flavius here sending me this tweet, to know on what basis you gathered that conclusion. Definitely ignorant $2. Where to learn about different calendars? I don't really get into the calendar issue because it gets really confusing and it's been used to divide. And some of the calendar groups have been reconciled to the church anyway. And anyway, I don't. There's a good article at let me see if I can find it. Orthodox England. I think that's it. Calendar question. It might be this one. I don't remember if it's this article or not. It's something I read a long time ago. But go to Orthodox England and type in calendar. I don't know. You'll find stuff there. They usually have good takes on those kinds of questions. So I gotta wake up for Boiler Room. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. That fat guy in Blade is funny. Big fat blue guy. I guess he's a vampire of some kind. That thing's funny. And I gotta get off Twitter here. I keep getting distracted. Sargon read Quigley. Yeah, right. Sargon hadn't read Carol Quigley. All Sargon does is repeat John Locke and Thomas Paine and other Masonic goofballs as if that was like the height of philosophy and enlightenment. Give me a break. By the way, Thomas Paine, Common Sense used to come with its square and compass on the cover. Did you know that? Let me find you an old copy. Where's the Masonic copies of it? I've seen them. I know they exist. Thomas Paine. Let's try this. Thomas Paine Freemasonry. So this is what this idiot thinks is the height of sophistication. Well, now I can't find it, but I used to have a picture of this because they would print Common Sense with its Masonic insignia on it. And by the way, how come none of these goofuses ever talk about this? It's like these idiots don't even know this exists or that it has any correlation to world politics. And they're going to talk to millions of people about world politics, and they don't even know the connection between Thomas Paine and the Enlightenment and Freemasonry. Come on. So much idiocy, man. I'm so tired of dealing with all this idiocy everywhere. Well, I can't find it now. I mean, everybody knows he was a Mason, but there used to be, you could find old, let's see, Common Sense, old copies of it. Common Sense book. Old Masonry. Oh, I may have found it. Let's see. Wow, that picture's too small. Damn it. Well, you just take my word for it. It exists. Here's one that talks about... Well, this is an essay, so this will be good enough, even if I can't find the book I'm looking for. Google doesn't really do what it's supposed to anymore. Here's his essay, Freemasonry by Thomas Paine. But I guess that has no bearing on any of this stuff. It doesn't really connect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Has Sargon ever talked about this? Does he ever talk about how all of his heroes are Masons? No. But that's because millions of dumbos will follow clowns before they'll follow anything real. Bungo, Lamb Doc Bungo, $2. Aerial Toll Houses. I bought, as I said, I bought the big giant 800-page book. I haven't had time to read it yet, so I can't. I'm not going to comment on. I'm very familiar with it. I've read all the books except for the new one, because it just came out. The one that's printed by the monastery. What's the name of it? I can't think today, man. I'm so tired. People were bitching about my dishes. You know how much work I do every day? Do you know how much content I put out? Bitching about my dishes. I put y'all before the dishes. This one. Departure of the Soul. This is a gigantic book. It was like $70. I haven't had time to read this yet. It's gigantic, so I can't. When I finish that book, I can give you a better approach, a better summation. I've learned as I get older to, it's okay to hold off on certain things. By the way, we will be doing a stream. I'm going to be doing a full stream. I'm flying to LA tomorrow, so I was going to do it today, but I had other stuff to do. On the printing of the newly printed Losky book, which is not new. It's from 1930. That SBS just printed. St. Vladimir's Seminary Press. And somebody said, how did this get through? Because it's not ecumenical. And I said, it got through because it has an ugly modernist cover. And they just didn't read it, maybe. I read it. But as you can see, yes, it has the ugly modernist watercolor blob abstract art cover. This is only 150 pages, but it's great. And guess what? All the arguments I've made for the last 10 years, they're made here. So I'm in good company. And I was right. Once again, all these theological arguments about Augustine, about the Logoi, about divine simplicity, about the Filioque, about the energies, about on and on and on and on. I was right. I was right. And I should have just always stuck with my intuitions anyway, because they're always right. And the people, the haters who come at me, they're always wrong. 99% of the time. So from now on, we're going to fly with the gut, follow our gut, because our gut's been right and the others have not been right. So, yes, so this book backs up everything that I've said, all the arguments I've made in the last 10 years, all my essays and articles. And no, I didn't read it because it wasn't in print. So I didn't rip it off. Now, I got my views because I read the Church Fathers and other Orthodox works. I didn't make it up. So here's one of the top theologians of the 20th century in Orthodoxy. His newly printed book from 1930, which I guess dropped into the realm of forgottenness or something, or I don't know. It's been out of print forever. Nobody knew about it. I don't know. I'd never heard of it. But it's printed now, and it's a really good book. And we're going to do a whole stream on this. And I'm going to take you through page by page showing all this stuff, because I get tagged in these things like, please comment on this 100 comment thread about, no, I can't spend all day comment, and I get roped into it, right? This is a weakness of mine. I get roped into commenting on a zillion comments in a thread that 5 people are going to read, and I've spent my whole day. I could have just made a damn video or a stream that 5 or 10,000 people will see. It's a lot more useful. So no, I can't comment on all these threads. Oh, I'm thirsty. I drink ocean water. So the Boiler Room crew, I'm sure, will be firing up soon. But we're going to do a whole stream on this book because it was really good, and it's good for introductory stuff. A lot of people, I mean, Orthodox Dogmatics by Father Staniloy is a superior book because it has more depth. This is a little more amenable maybe to Western readers than Staniloy's book. So, because this is going to have a lot of terminology and ideas that are familiar to people in the West. He's writing it for people in the West. Staniloy is just writing it as a straight up Orthodox dogmatic, assuming that you are already familiar with the Orthodox ethos. And this book is a little more amenable to Western audiences. I mean, Staniloy's book is deeper, but this is better for audiences. So yes, it's going to be on the recommended reading. Is anybody going to apologize to me over the years? One guy did this week, by the way. Thank you. We'll call him Gabe. He gave me some heavy doses of shite some years ago, and he apologized. So I appreciate that. We'll call him Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. Much appreciated. We're on the same team. We're not We're not contra here. We're not counter signaling for the sake of. We want people on our team, and we invite all to come over to our team, to our side, because we are pro-human and we're pro-man, pro-woman, pro-life, all the pros. Anyway, what else did I have to mention? Is that it? I think that stream on this book is going to be really good because it'll be a great introductory discussion, because he's going to talk about divine simplicity. He's going to talk about impersonal forces in pagan religions. Dude, everything you've heard me talk about, he's going to talk about. He's going to talk about the filioque. I'm going to go into that. He's going to talk about eternal manifestation and how if you don't have the essence energy distinction, you can't believe in eternal manifestation, which is how you solve the filioque issue, by the way. And the Roman Catholics don't have this distinction. They don't have a distinction between hypostatic origin and eternal manifestation. And they don't have that because of divine simplicity, because they don't believe in the essence energy distinction. And they don't believe that because they equate all of the attributes of God with the divine essence. But guess what? Some attributes of God or actions of God are not synonymous with the divine essence, such as creating the world, such as providence. I mean, the mere fact that some attributes relate to creation and some don't should show you this, right? Providence relates to the created order. So providence is not synonymous to the divine essence. If it was, then providence is eternal, and that means creation is eternal. Well, creation is not eternal. It began in time. So obviously, providence is not synonymous with the divine essence. It's really simple, and you would think Roman Catholics would figure this out. But really in Roman Catholicism, all that matters is whether you will defend the bureaucracy of the papacy. Believe whatever you want elsewise. You can follow Maximus the Confessor. You can have Gregory Palamas in your calendar. You can be a uniate and not believe in purgatory, by the way. But just be in communion with Rome, which is completely retarded. Makes absolutely no sense. Just believe in the bureaucracy of Rome, though. Do whatever you want. That's really what it is. Somebody call me Tom Green. I'll take that. Thank you, Kazakh Don. Don Kazakh. It's a mafia name. I'll take being the new Tom Green. Yeah, I like all those wacky comics. I come from that tradition. You know what I mean? I used to do stand-up. I was going to do stand-up. And I forgot to do the Boomer comedy stream. I'm still going to do that because I went and saw some terrible comedians, except for one guy who's pretty famous. And I tried to get him to come on the stream, but he was like, He was too nervous, so I'm like, dude, we're not talking crazy shit on here. I was like, I'm gonna go on Sam Tripoli's stream. He's like, I was like, man, I came all the way to your show, bought your comedy CD. Now that you're famous, maybe he didn't want to do it. So I was like, if you don't want to come on my show, then I don't want you on here. By the way, this so-called big-time comedian, my audience is about 10 times the size of his. And he's like thinking he's going to stay in the corporate realm. All right, well, maybe, but my following is about 10 times your following, so you do whatever you want. But, so that's how it goes. Not bragging, because my audience is still relatively humble compared to some. But you'll notice some of these big name comedians, I'm talking like the ones that go on Seth Meyers and the ones that go on Late Night and all that. Dude, they've only got like 3,000, 4,000 followers on Twitter. Their YouTube channel has like 1,000. On Facebook, they've got like 2,000 followers. It's like, you don't have that big of a reach, dude. Like Sam Tripoli's podcast is like 10, 20 times the reach that you have. So, not sure how you think you're, like the snobbery, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like an analog to what, the alt media says about the audience sizes, you know what I mean? Like Mark Dice was talking about the CNN anchors, which is true. I went and looked it up. He's right. Like Mark Dice can get 10,000 retweets and he's got like 2 million followers. And then the CNN anchors are all snotty and snobby, and the celebrities, and they've got like 100,000 followers, and they get like, I get more likes and retweets than the CNN anchors. Literally, I'm not joking. I can get more of a reach than the CNN anchors who have supposedly 100,000, 300,000 followers, and you get like 30 likes. Come on, get out of here. Everybody can tell that's fake. You bought them damn followers, or the CIA just put them there. And it's the same with comedians. There was another comedian that, not Owen Benjamin, but somebody else, like a lesser named dude, who had won some comedy competitions, and he didn't want to come on. Too scared or something, I don't know. But I'm like, dude, he was getting kind of snobby about it. I was like, I don't know how you think you're gonna get snobby, dude. Like I got 5 times the following audience that you do, so there's not really any place for being snobby here. I mean, can't we all just get along? Can't we all just get along, work on the same team? Can't we all just work on the same team? Anyway, that's the mind of, corporate leftist types, though. They'll be like, they're the ones that think that when they destroy other people, that they're winning. That kind of mindset, like the only victory is to defeat somebody else. It wasn't the comedian that said this, by the way. The big name comedian that I was trying to get on, not Owen Benjamin. He was cool about it. He was just, I guess, scared for his reputation. So I'm not dissing him. But, if you grow the audience, you have more leeway. Jay Dyer's Bill Hicks. You say that every time. Aren't you the guy that says you want a plushie? I'm Bill Hicks, and yeah, that would help me. I mean, that joke meme probably got Jones a zillion followers. So you can start those memes about me. But as I was saying, I remember what I was going to say. I've always enjoyed the silly side of comedy. Like, I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan. When I used to do stand-up, I would do these very Andy Kaufman-esque routines where the joke would be on the audience. So like one time I did stand up and it was like a liberal venue. And I took Karl Rove's biography and I just started reading from it. And after a while they were like, what is it? Like they laughed at first and then I kept doing it. And I kept reading and I kept reading. And they eventually started getting mad. So, but that's a nod to the Andy Kaufman routine where he read The Great Gatsby and then he read like a chapter or two and people started booing. So he's like, all right. And then he rolls out a record player and everybody thinks that, you know, okay, finally the routine is moving on. He's doing something else. And it's a record of him reading The Great Gatsby. Oh, that's classic. Anyway, so, you know, Sam Hyde is funny. We like Sam Hyde here. And I wish I was on that damn stream. And I got off because I guess I wasn't a big boy. But as soon as I get off, like an hour later, Sam Hyde comes on. I was like, well, damn it. I missed damn Sam Hyde. So, I don't know. I think Sam Hyde and I could do some good skits. I think he needs to reach out. Stop being mystery man. Hiding in his art coven. Hiding in his little coven of artists or whatever whoever he hangs out with. He needs to come out of his mystery den. His lair. And then I was thinking about 90s comedians too, and then 2000, like the Andy Milonakis show. Remember that? That's funny. There's some gold skits in there. He had some really creative, goofy stuff. Tom Green. I used to like Tom. We used to watch Tom Green all the time in high school. And who else was good? Flight of the Conchords is great. They're funny. So Dimitri Martin, he's pretty funny. It's got to be weird stuff, you know, like weird, goofy, silly. That's what I like. So I'm in that vein. And let's see. Oh yeah, the debate with V. I said let's have a debate with V, and I think Ralph said that V would probably do it. So I don't know if it'll be on Ralph's kill stream or what. I mean, probably, but I don't really care wherever. It doesn't matter to me. But I think it'd be fun to debate V on libertarianism. Yeah, Andy Milonakis is still funny. What is that? Kokichi? Sam hides to avoid... Oh, I get it. Hides to avoid Jay. I get it. That's good. Jay, what do you think of being John Malkovich? I mean, I kind of like the weirdness of it, but I also kind of... Something about that movie is just a little too weird. I don't know. We'll eventually do something on that. I don't know. I'm sure it's got some mind control, you know, alternate reality stuff going on there. But where is Boiler Room? I'm waiting on the Boiler Room guys. What's up? Where y'all at? Let me ask. Let's see. Where's Boiler Room? It's 9. It's past 9 o'clock. Maybe it's just the J room tonight. I don't know. We'll see what they say. Based Boogie. Is that a comedian? What is that? Well, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad that the time killing is entertaining. Sure, I'll see the sequel to The Passion. It's about the resurrection, isn't it? But we were talking about, let's see, comedian. You know what I don't like anymore? Stand-up. Stand-up comedy is just awful. It's unbearable. I mean, I appreciate the craft of stand-up, but when you see the Netflix stand-up specials, and I mean, Bill Burr is funny. I mean, his stand-up's funny. And, but, like, I went and saw these boomer stand-ups, and the guy that I knew was the only funny guy. They were awful. Oh, my gosh, dude. The fat mom, boomer mom. I'm gonna save all that for when I do the boomer comedy stream. Okay, yeah, so Boiler Room's gonna be revving up here in a minute, but yeah, the boomer comedy stream is gonna be fun. I'm just gonna basically mimic all of the comedians I saw, because it was so bad that it could be its own joke stream for you guys. So that'll be in the future, I guess, when I get back from LA. And I'm going to grab a drink. Let's do some math again. You guys can do a little math while I get this going.
We're gonna add some numbers, man. Gonna subtract them too. Numbers up to and from 10. Doing them all for you. 2 plus 7 is
yet, but I'm ready to kick off.
5.
You are. Sounds like
2
you're already
and 3 are 3.
Are we hot on your
You're getting
We are.
very quick, man, in everything you do. See if you can guess the answers before I sing them to you. 8 minus 6 is 4. Well, you did all right. Well, you're doing all right. All right, man. We're gonna add some numbers, man. Gonna subtract them too. Numbers up to and from 10. Doing them all for you. 2 plus 7 is 5. 2 and 3 are 3. You're getting very quick, man, in everything you do. See if you can guess the answers before I sing them to you. 8 minus 6 is 4. Well, you did all right. Well, you're doing all right. All right, man.
All right. Well, we are refreshing the call. We're going to see if we can get this boiler room going up, but for some reason on my end, the Skype is being all crappy. So we're going to try to have a boiler room tonight. my dear Jay's Analysis patrons.
Hey, Jay. Okay, I did a direct dial to you first, just so we can see how it sounds. How's it sound so far?
Bad.
Yeah, you sound bad too. Bad.
I mean, I don't know. It's streaming fine on my side. It just seems to be Skype on my side.
It does seem to be Skype. I was listening to your stream on YouTube while I was getting ready here. It sounded perfect.
Well,
is your Skype machine different than your YouTube output machine, or is that on the same machine?
no, I'm using 2 different Macs.
Oh, okay. Maybe, I guess you could try restarting Skype on your Skype machine or rebooting.
I already did. Yeah. Let me try it again. I'll try it again.
Okay.
I'm going to start the computer. All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, Jay's Analysis nerds, stay with me. We're going to make this work. These damn CPUs. Why is that doing that? Stop doing that. So anyway,
Jason's iMac disconnected.
we're going to make it work. And you look at this Fibonacci sequence while we start up a boiler room with all the technology, yeah. Aristozenas, $5. Do you think there's any significance to the fact that many of the movies filled with predictive programming are terrible films? There was a $2 from Ryan Young. Appreciate your work. Thank you. And then a $2 from Meshes Retracted. Okay. Well, sorry. There was that the Ariel Tollhouse's work? I guess so. Thank you, Ryan Young. And, is there a significance to the movies being bad? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, maybe in a general way, the arts are degenerating, and that's a overall big scale plan to destroy the arts. And then there's also kind of the natural destruction that happens when you enforce all this SJW type stuff. I mean, because leftism is self-destructive. It is inherently self-destructive. It is going to eat its own tail, like the Ouroboros. So there's that aspect to it. And then part of the reason why it's in so many films is that most movies and comedies and horrors and TV shows are bad, right? I mean, most things are bad. They're not funny. They're not clever. They're money-making schemes. So most things are crappy. Most things are bad. Just the way that it is. So that's why there's so many. Well, the corporate government puts their propaganda into everything. They want it everywhere. And since most movies suck, that's why. I don't know that it's that. I mean, and maybe overall. But that's a great question. A difficult question. I'm not framing my answer very well. But we're going to try one more time to get this boiler room going. I don't know why is the Skype being so shitty tonight. So we're going to try to have, I don't know what we're going to do if I guess it'll just have to be me and you guys tonight if boiler room doesn't want to come through, because there's no point in doing it. I can't do it if it sounds like gay robots all night.
Jay Dyer and the Nerd.
Oh, beautiful.
Hey.
Beautiful.
Awesome. You sound good too.
If I can make, now you got to come through the right thing though. Hold on.
Right. Yeah, we want to come through the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Connected to Jason's iMac and Jason's MacBook Air.
How's that?
Good. We're looking good now.
Okay. All right. Boiler room is live. Live.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's do this, you guys. Without further ado, Jay, I think the intro is going to pop through your speakers this time. So plug your ears. Here we go.
Whoa, dude.
Come on. Wait, what happened? I swear it's not my fault.
All done.
I don't know. I pushed launch and it started and sputtered and... Okay, that's interesting. Here we go. Try this again.
I know what it is. It's my Bose speakers are sounding like shit. That's what it is. So yeah, we're gonna make this work, but I'm gonna have to do a different audio input here for them. So So yes, this is the intro to Boiler Room. We are going to have a Boiler Room. I think I've got it fixed. This Bose speakers that I'm using, the battery's getting low, and sometimes I pipe in Boiler Room from the Bose. It's not worth explaining. But anyway, when the audio intro music for Boiler Room stops, everything will go normal. But they're piping it into their audio because they do an audio stream.
To Boiler, ladies and friends and folks, lurkers and regulars, welcome to the show. I'm your host Hesher. You're listening to AlternateCurrentRadio.com. We're streaming out live over the HCR live stream. What's up, everybody out there in the chat? We got 2 chats going, simulcasting over at J Dyer YouTube channel. There is always an awesome chat full of nerds and cool peeps over there. And of course, we have in-house alternatecurrentradio.com/chat room. Also, right, Mark? Yeah, so join us in either of those chats. It's great to see everybody out there for the live show. Another great week over here at Alternate Current Radio. We got new episodes up on Jay's Analysis, Primecast, all the other shows out here at alternatecurrentradio.com. You can find us, of course, at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, not speaker, Spreaker.com for you newbies. They have a great mobile app if you want to catch any of our shows. The mobile app is awesome. It does automatic downloads, save bandwidth and all that, streaming, listen on demand, good stuff. And of course, if you're listening on your computer or whatever, great embeds and downloads, streaming, on demand, all that good stuff at Spreaker.com. Just look for Alternate Current Radio and click our shows link. You can search through the station by show or click episodes, see what's been uploaded and or live streamed most recently. Okay, also big giant thanks, high fives, hugs all around to our supporters. We are self-funded and listener-backed. So if you're one of those folks over this last week that has thrown a tip in the tip jar via PayPal or become a new patron, thank you very much. I don't have the list of names in front of me this week as I normally do, but you all know who you are and love you all. So if you want to jump in there with those folks and support ACR, you can find out how to do so at alternatecurrentradio.com/chat. That's what's up going on with that. All right, let's get right into it. I want to get into it on the show tonight. We have Max joining us once again. He's our geopolitical media maniac. Max, how you doing? And welcome back to the Boiler Room.
I'm doing well, and as usual, I'm very excited to be here and participate with you all.
Excellent. We're so happy to have you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Funk Soul. I saw that message. I don't know what's up with that, though. I don't know what I can do. Up next, our man in the UK, Funk Soul. Funk Soul, welcome back to the Boiler Room. Thanks for staying up hella late tonight and joining us for the Boiler Room. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. Hyped to be here for the #1 social reject show online. Good to be back in the We Too group.
Yeah, that's right. Hashtag We Too.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the show. How's the audio so far on your end?
It's gotten better. The muffling is gone, dude, so we're back to normal.
All right, excellent, cool. Okay, great. Up next, we've got Infidel Pharaoh joining us once again. Infidel Pharaoh, welcome back to the Boiler Room. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, excellent. Thanks for joining us. I know you're on the road tonight, so if you jump in or out, just feel free to do so, and thanks for taking the effort to join us.
Thank you.
All right, and we've got Mr. Jay Dyer, the author of Esoteric Hollywood. How you doing, Jay Dyer? Welcome back to the Boiler Room.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. We've got it rigged roughly here, but I think it's getting better. The audio it was choppy, but I think it's getting better. You sound fairly okay.
All right, cool. I'll take fairly okay. That's better than complete garbage. So
Jay sounds a lot better too.
Yeah, you sound crystal clear over here on this end. Yes. All right. Okay, and we have the one and only, the lovely Spore. Welcome back to the Boiler Room. How you doing?
Excellent. Happy to be here as always.
All right. Okay, well, we're just moving along swiftly tonight. So, Spore, what are we going to break ice with tonight?
The diaper brand Pampers has removed the Sesame Street characters from the diapers for being too masculine.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you never cease to amaze me. Okay, where did we get this one? Was this from?
This is from Creative Accidents. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Creative. What the hell?
You know what? There's not even that much to this story, and Pampers isn't saying much. They were just saying it's a gender issue, and that some people were offended that some of the Sesame Street characters are a little bit too masculine, and there's actually been a lot of kickback from this. Mommies all over the nation are complaining that so what they did is they replaced the Sesame Street characters with generic little, animals, of course, some more feminine.
Probably all like pastel color, purples and light pinks.
Exactly, and the mommies are complaining. They're like, these are really boring, and you're making diaper time, a real disappointment. We'd rather have some bright, Sesame Street characters when we're dealing with our poopies.
Boy, the bar for masculinity has gotten so low.
It almost sounds like the mothers need the characters more than the babies.
I kind of doubt that the kids even realize what's on their Pampers.
Moms are like, I grew up with Bert and Ernie. Yeah. What the hell is this gay ass stuff on my Pampers?
Monstrosity.
Wow, okay, so the bar for corporate definition of masculinity just gets lower and lower and lower. If this was, what's that game where they put the bar down and you shimmy under it? I forget the name of that.
Oh, what is that?
I'm blanking on it.
Me too.
Whatever.
Go low, can you go?
Yeah, that game. You would
Limbo.
What's that?
What, like Limbo or something?
Yeah, Limbo. Thank you. Jeez. Brain fail. Yes, Limbo.
It's weird how it's weird. It's weird that we all. It's weird that we all couldn't think of it because I was sitting here and I
couldn't either.
I was wanting to call it La Bamba, and I think that's because, which is so dumb. But isn't that what Pee Wee does? Don't they play La Bamba when Pee Wee does it?
I think you're right.
When you said Limbo, my first thought was, medieval Roman Catholicism.
No. It's they play tequila when da-na-na. Yeah.
Yes,
that's what it is when Pee Wee does it.
Good old Pee Wee's Playhouse. Is Pee Wee too masculine now too?
Pee Wee's Adventure, I believe.
Oh, you're right. That must have been The Big Adventure. You're right. Yeah. Yep, that was the scene in the biker bar, huh?
Yes, it's in the biker bar. Yeah.
After he got dropped off by Large Marge, or just before?
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere around there. Classic.
All right. Well, I don't know what to say about Pampers other than these stupid corporate companies really need to ditch their dumb, brain-dead leftist ideologies. This is just getting ridiculous.
I'm wondering if it's an excuse. I kind of imagine that they probably have to pay a certain amount of money to Sesame Street for using their characters, and this might have just been an easy excuse to get out of that money contract.
Yeah. Good thought there, Spore. It's like, oh, we can feminize babies even more, and we can save ourselves $1 million or so in the process with our little poopy rags. There you have it, folks. 2018. This is what we're dealing with. Okay. Well, I don't know what else to say about that, Spore. That was a short and sweet icebreaker. Anyone else want to comment? Probably not. I don't know what else could be said about that.
I don't know. Bye, Miss Piggy. She was a bit too bull dykey for me anyway, so take a hike.
That's right. Looks a little too much like a modern supermodel anyways.
Miss Piggy?
Yeah.
A little too thick. Oh, modern supermodel.
Yeah.
A little too thick.
Right. And you know...
She could be on the cover of Cosmo.
Yeah, what's her face? That giant house that is on the cover of Cosmo was on the cover recently. She actually has Miss Piggy tattooed on that giant ham hock of a canvas that she calls a forearm.
Oh.
I noticed it. I looked at it. It's
Hey, goals.
Miss Piggy's getting
you have
bigger.
To have idols or people to look up to, or
and
puppets.
You talking about
you
talking about Tessa Swallow Day?
Yes, that's the one.
The Ham Planet.
She ate a cake of herself, right?
She did eat a cake of herself, like with her fist.
Horrible.
With her fist, with she and Miss Piggy shared a cake of herself.
Her Miss Piggy club just dug right in, pulled a fistful of her own cake out, and ate it. So, her Miss Piggy are having her cake and eating it too. That's a good tattoo, actually, if you're going to do that kind of, what do they call it, body positivity, because the tattoo just expands, you know, it's Miss Piggy, so...
Sessions Jones said, the tattoo is huge!
It's getting bigger by the day.
I think a Trigglypuff tattoo would be awesome, actually. That'd be funny.
Yes. It could, like, because, you know, with Trigglypuff, she does the, like, the two-fisted shake, you know, so when she moves her arm around, it could, like, you know, she could actually simulate
it'd be like a tattoo gif on her arm.
Yeah, exactly. If any of you listeners don't know what we're talking about, just go to the Googles and type in Trigglypuff gif, and you'll see exactly what we're referring to. What was Trigglypuff so mad about at the time? I can't remember. It was so many outrages ago.
I think it was Milo was speaking or something.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jay.
Yep.
Trigglypuff is a hardcore feminist.
Oh yeah.
She didn't like Milo.
No. Good times from boiler rooms past. Good old Trigglypuff. All right, well, let's get into some stuff here. Let's do some news, and you guys and gal. What do you guys want to talk about this week? Anybody got anything on the top of their radar that they want to get out, like, early in the show?
Well, I'm pretty jealous that you guys got a presidential alert.
Yeah.
Like that?
Trump sent me a text, man.
Yeah, me too.
What?
Me too.
I thought that was just for me.
Me too. There you go. Twice in one day. On my end.
It was funny though, like Twitter just exploded with just like liberal tears and God knows what. It was freaking hilarious.
Oh, they had a big problem with it?
Oh man, oh yeah, it was all over the shop. It was
if
crazy.
Hillary would have been in the White House, they would have loved it. They'd be like, oh, you know, probably saying what I just said jokingly, very seriously, like, oh, look at this, I have a direct connection to the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess are we going to be getting more of those? Remember back in the old days? Okay, some of you millennials and young people out there may not have been exposed to this, but when I was a kid. Back in my day when I was a kid, we used to actually have to like stand up and turn the channel. We had like 13 channels and then a UHF and a VHF clicker on the TV. And pretty much like they were pretty frequent. It seems like they were at least once a month, maybe even weekly. We would get that, you know, the alert tone, and it would say, "This is a test of the emergency broadcast system."
Yes.
EPS. Yeah.
Then that,
like blue, like different colors, and like
yeah.
Pretty scary. I mean, the UK nuclear one is it's pretty freaking scary. Every time I see that on YouTube, like, puts hairs on the back of my neck, man. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's been out for the past couple of years. Well, the updated one, funny enough, it has the current UK PM Theresa May, and the agitator of the nuke threat is Vladimir Putin. Funny enough, people can check it out. It's freaky stuff.
Oh, weird. So they actually like flash a picture of her Ugg mug up or what?
Oh, it's like they interrupt the program that's playing, and they kind of come in with a broadcast that spans like nearly an hour of attacks and all this like sort of stuff. They kind of like rehash like a lot of footage, and they use some actors and some like kind of clips to simulate like BBC. Yeah, and then it like towards the end for the last couple of minutes, it's got the whole kind of air raid siren and all these like bleeps which just like freak you out, and it's like basically just drop and go and run for cover, and at the very end it's just like, yeah, you're fucked kind of thing, like the way it pans out. But it's actually quite scary. It's gnarly.
Wow, that makes Trump's little presidential thing not sound so bad. I mean, I just gotta...
It was like, this is a test.
Yeah. I didn't have to see his picture or anything. Jazz in our chat room says he saw people saying they literally felt violated by the president himself because of the text alert.
He said that he even saw professors saying stuff like that.
Oh, professors.
Professors.
I remember a time when I first went to college, and I thought, these professors, they're all pretty smart people, It's cool to be here, and it's worth my money to be here around all these smart people. And now I just look at these people, and it's like, you bunch of moronic freaking children. How the hell did you end up in these positions? Here's my text. I see it right here. Where'd it go? Crap, I just flicked past it because I have so friggin' many. Okay, presidential alert in bold. This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed.
I feel violated.
Do these same people get upset when they get Amber Alerts? I mean, we get this Amber Alert system too. It used to just be on the roads, but now that comes in through text messaging also. I think you can maybe turn that off on some phones.
I think you can turn the Trump alerts off as well.
Oh, you can turn them off, huh?
So.
Well, I guess if you literally feel violated, you might want to hit your settings and just flick it off. Well, I don't know. How does anybody even take these things seriously after what happened in Hawaii back in, what was that, January or whatever, when they said there were nuclear missiles inbound?
Man, that's just on a different level compared to presidential alerts. Like, that's serious.
Yeah, I mean, after that, that's like the biggest cry wolf you could possibly have with these text alerts. So, even if firebombs and nukes were inbound now, and I got a text, I'd probably just be like, ha, yeah, right. You bunch of liars. Who screwed up? Who fell asleep at the control board? NORAD.
According to Scarlett, she says you can't opt out of these. She just said that in the chat.
Oh, really? So. Interesting. All right. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, actually. We're going to look into that. We're going to check our settings later. All right. Well, yeah. I wonder how often we'll be getting those, or when the first time it will be used for a media psyop or an actual event will be. How long? I wonder how long that will take. Who knows? Hey, it looks like we lost Infidel Pharaoh. He may have had to jump on a plane or something there. Infidel, thanks for joining us tonight.
Scarlett's correct. According to FEMA, you cannot turn off these.
Oh, okay. Well, all those people that literally feel violated, just be ready to literally be violated again, and maybe look up the word literally. Just a thought. I don't know. All right. Okay, I got a couple of quick WTF stories. A couple of weird WTF things in the news this week. Let's see. We got here's one. Big thanks and what's up to Craig over at Radiant Creators Podcast, which can be found over here at Alternate Current Radio, for sending me this one. We had fun batting this back and forth a bit here. Guns stolen from Memphis UPS facility. Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Ooh, what a headline there. A little scary. So the first site he sent me that had this one was, what, did I put the same link in here twice? I did. The first one I saw was not updated, but then an updated link for this I found over at NBC News. Check this out. It came out and it said, guns stolen from Memphis UPS facility were found en route to Chicago. Authorities say they are still looking for 24-year-old Roland Jackson of Chicago and are offering up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest. And the story goes like this. Hundreds of stolen guns have been found en route to Chicago after the firearms went missing Sunday after a UPS facility in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where they were taken from, apparently. And this was Tuesday, I believe. Police in Midlothian, Illinois, recovered the guns that were reported missing on Sunday when two people driving a U-Haul truck stole the weapons from a UPS facility. So, according to a copy of the criminal complaint obtained by NBC, Midlothian police received a call around 3 p.m. Sunday about suspicious activity in a store parking lot in the Chicago suburb. The suspects fled the scene upon being questioned, leaving behind a U-Haul van filled with an estimated 364 Ruger, these people don't know guns very well, Ruger caliber firearms. Two suspects connected to the robbery were charged, only one currently in custody, according to a statement by ATF. This just doesn't make sense to me. I'm having a hard time taking this story at face value. That's why I bring it up. Criminals are not the smartest people on earth, but they're not the dumbest either. There's pictures of this facility. It's not just your local UPS store. It's one of their hubs. So it's got big 8-foot chain link fence with rounded razor wire and barbed wire on the top, and obviously the place is surveilled with cameras. So what kind of dumbass, and we're to believe that these guys somehow got into this gate at night with a U-Haul van and took the time to move almost 400 guns. That's a lot of packaging, and somehow knew exactly what packaging, which packages to take.
How do they know how to get in? How do they get in?
There's so many questions that just make this not make sense. How do they know how to get in? Why would they go in knowing the place is surveilled? How are they not immediately identified if they're driving a rented U-Haul van that's caught on camera? Why is it that the news only puts out one still fuzzy picture of suspects that could never be identified or distinguished? I almost wonder if this wasn't some sort of Fast and Furious Part 2 attempt that maybe went bad or something like that.
Like somebody had given them access or something like that. They were getting some inside information on how to get these out, or
maybe they were. How do I say it? Maybe they were stooges or patsies or even agents of or associates of three-letter agencies that were looking to start some sort of scandal, Basically what I'm getting at is I think this is probably leading towards some sort of false flag or some sort of excuse to do, further damage to Second Amendment, push for gun control, or worse, do harm to people and put these weapons in the hands of cartels, gangsters, send them over the border. I mean, it's not like this would, we've seen this before. Fast and Furious scandal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm wondering if this story, is actually based. But who knows? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Sounds like you guys are on it with what you said. Yeah, type of an F&F inside job situation. It seems to be kind of far from an episode of America's Dumbest Criminals. It's a little bit more intricate than that.
Yeah, and also it's UPS, and UPS.
UPS or U-Haul?
UPS.
Okay.
Was the place where they were taken from because they were in transit.
Oh.
But the alleged criminals allegedly, broke into the UPS facility with a rented U-Haul, which they loaded up with said weapons. No further comments from UPS, really. They say they're cooperating with law enforcement. 16 pallets of firearms. So, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting one. I think there's probably more than meets the eye there. And, of course, the media takes it as a great opportunity to say things like, oh, we need more security, we need, of course, more surveillance, more security, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff they always say.
Sounds like surveillance didn't help them much there.
Yeah. Why does UPS not have enough surveillance? That doesn't make sense. I mean, there's cameras all over these places.
Yeah, why don't they have like ANPR, the automated number plate recognition system for stuff like that? You think they'd be that beefed up on security? They'd be allowed to have an ANPR facility? Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Even if they didn't, once the authorities were called, how come they didn't just look at the security footage and say, oh, okay, here's the plate on the U-Haul, and we'll call it in and see who rented it,
Whitebird said Putin did it, so that's it, guys. So with case closed.
There's always that. Yeah, he's probably right. Must be some sort of Russian scam.
Buster said deep state op. So yeah,
could
be.
I agree. That one can't be taken at face value, like so many stories we cover. All right. Here's another weird one. Mother of two punches Lindsay Lohan over child abduction bid. Mean Girls actor Lindsay Lohan is back in the news for all the wrong reasons. The one-time teen idol, currently in Russia, posted an unsettling video of her interacting with a family she claimed came from Syria. Hey everyone, I just want to show you a family that I met, she said in the video. A Syrian refugee family that I'm really worried about. They really need help. And then she starts talking to the kids. You want to come with me? Come with me. I'll take care of you guys. She can be heard saying in Arabic and English. Do you want to stay in a hotel tonight? Do you want to watch movies? It would be so cool to watch a movie on a TV or a computer, she said to one of the kids. And then there's video of this out there. If you want to check it out, I'll link it on tonight's show page. She says, you should not have them, your sons, on the floor. You should be a hardworking woman, and you should be doing what you can for your children so they have a better life. And she proceeds to follow the family as they get up to leave. And she says, look what's happening. They're trafficking children. You're ruining Arabic culture by doing this. I'm with you, boys. Don't worry. The whole world is seeing this, the actor adds. Are you from Pakistan? Lohan is punched in the face by the mother of the children as she attempts to arrest one of the boys.
Mean Girls.
What a crazy bitch, man.
That is some weird shit.
Hollywood. Don't worry. Hollywood loves your refugee kids. Don't worry.
She actually, some of those quotes kind of made it. Yeah, it kind of made her sound like a pedophile herself.
Yeah, well,
you want to watch some movies? You want some lollipops? That's what it sounds like.
Want to buy some magic?
Yeah.
Get in my van.
Exactly.
Cookie?
Want an ice cream cone?
She's one of those actresses, though, one of those Hollywood personalities, sort of like a Britney Spears, you know, who's just had so many strange meltdowns over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And I would wager is a really good candidate for like an MKUltra girl.
Yeah, I think she's from the Disney factory too.
Yeah, I think so too. Totally, man. So I mean, I wouldn't. It's kind of funny on first glance, but I really wouldn't be surprised if you know, she really was being genuine and she's just, you know, having an MKUltra brain glitch of some sort. You know what I mean? Like she actually may have thought she was doing something altruistic, philanthropic, but
how'd she pick up the Arabic?
Yeah, good question.
Why she was speaking Arabic in this clip, Hesher?
Yeah, why? How? I mean, where does that come from? Has she been trafficked herself? You know, that's.
And this is in Russia.
Yeah,
this is really
this
weird.
is a strange story.
Someone's been beefing her up on Arabic, man, and she's been doing some intensive learning of it. That does not sound right at all.
No,
Arabic is not. It's not simple to pick up, man. And even if you've got a good ear for accents, dialects, and whatnot.
I think Syrian girl was commenting on it. She said it was a bunch of baloney. It's like she wasn't really saying anything coherent.
I've heard that too. I heard it said that it was like gibberish, like it was.
Oh, it wasn't even real Arabic?
Like faux Arabic.
Somebody in the chat here, Chris, says that she dated a guy that spoke Arabic.
Uh-huh.
Whitebird said Lindsay Lohan is the slightly more unhinged version of Angelina Jolie off trying to get her refugee adoptions. Exactly what you guys just said there.
Ooh, brutal. Brutal, but quite plausible. Ooh. That's kind of chilling. That whole thing is creepy. That creeps me out. It's giving me the creeps. All right.
It's got a kind of a Clinton ring kind of thing off it, doesn't it? Like, kind of, you know, yeah, it's yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's not cool.
Right. Yeah, there's just, I mean, when I first saw it, I kind of just laughed it off, but then I started thinking about, like, okay, I remember seeing this gal doing some pretty strange stuff. Go ahead, Jay.
Syrian girl said that Lindsay Lohan was not speaking to the family in their language. They were Bulgarian and not Syrian. Lindsay Lohan wasn't even speaking Arabic. She was making up words. Hollywood Reporter reveals that they're as ignorant as Lindsay Lohan.
Oh.
Wow.
I think Sacha Baron Cohen would do a much better job. Sorry, Lindsay.
Yeah, really. Oh, man. Creepy.
You come with me to Syria.
Oh my god. That mother must have been so confused. The fact that she had to defend her kids by physically striking a Hollywood star for just, I mean, what kind of, like, brain damage do you have to come up to
a Bulgarian family?
A family of unknown origin and make all these assumptions about them and try to wrestle the kids away.
She deserved to get socked.
Yeah. I'm almost more worried about her. Like, I'm afraid Lindsay's been, you know, just brain drained and is, you know,
she's not all right.
No, she's not all there. Something, and she's concerned about trafficking. You know what I mean? And it makes me think maybe this is something that she has gone through, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is MKUltra anyways, other than, you know, except maybe your rare cases like your Ted Kaczynski's that sign up for it. the Disney factory kids, that's essentially how they get started.
I think Birdie's on with definitely kind of on par with the Jolie thing. I mean, Lohan bombed in a theatrical production in London. I think it was earlier this year, towards the end of last year. Wasn't very favourable at all. So this could be quite an attention-seeking ploy of hers, kind of a la Angelina Jolie style. So it seems quite plausible.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. I noticed she's on a new Netflix series with one of the Superbad crew. I think Jonah Hill, maybe.
No, dude, I just did you know about Emma Stone? I just did a big ass analysis of it.
Oh, that was Emma Stone. Okay, thank you for the correction there. They look a little bit similar to me. Okay. How was it? Was it good?
I thought so.
Cool. Yeah, Randy J. Actually, I talked to Randy before the show. He told me to tell everybody hi in the room and out there, listeners. Well, he'll be joining us.
Hi, Randy.
Yeah, he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But yeah, he was telling me that was worth a watch. I didn't realize you'd done a analysis on it. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'll have to watch it and then watch your analysis.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. It's everything that you expect in an esoteric Jay's analysis. And by the way, remember Lindsay Lohan had claimed to be a convert to Islam a while back, remember?
She did? No, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Whoa. That's weird. I wonder if she's stuck with that, if she still claims it.
I don't know.
Yeah, who could possibly follow that level of crazy? All right, well, okay, moving on swiftly.
I mean, there's pictures of her.
Go ahead.
There's pictures of her carrying the Quran around. I mean,
oh wow.
But a lot of Hollywood people go through, phases of stuff.
Right. Yeah, Kabbalah 1 year, Islam the next.
Exactly.
Scientology.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Children of God.
Yeah. Good point.
Process Church of the Final Judgment.
Yeah, your final destination is the Manson cult. Yeah, exactly. That's where it all leads.
You end up at Helter Skelter. You go from Kabbalah to Helter Skelter.
Because God and the devil's the same person. I'm doing my Charlie here for you.
That's a pretty good Charlie, man. I'm God and I killed everybody. Now what?
I'm God and the devil's son. You can't conceive of it. It's above your pay grade.
Oh man, Tom Hardy did a great job of him, actually. Really good portrayal of Manson in that movie out a couple of years ago. It's really damn good.
Right, that's right. I forgot about that.
What movie had Tom Hardy as Charles Manson?
I think it was just entitled Manson. It was a type of kind of like a biopic, but like it was chillingly like accurate. His portrayal of like Manson. You should check it out, man. It's really good.
We'll do that. Have you? Has everybody heard that Quentin Tarantino is going to do Charles Manson?
No.
What?
Yeah. I think trying to who did he they just announced who he picked to be Manson. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Oh, here we go. I got an article. Let's see. Quentin Tarantino has cast his Charles Manson for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let's see here. Despite the fact that Tarantino's next film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, will adapt the narrative approach of Pulp Fiction as it sees characters and stories interweaving around L.A. in the summer of 1969. One person has dominated the narrative and focus. The two leading characters in the film are Rick Dalton, which is going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, former star of Western TV series, and his longtime stunt double Cliff Booth, going to be played by Brad Pitt. But the presence of the infamous murderer/cult leader Charles Manson has dominated the discussion. Geez, are they ever going to tell me who it is? Blah, blah. Yeah, we know the story. You got to be kidding me.
So it's an Australian actor, some guy I've never heard of, Damon Harriman, who actually looks like Charles Manson. So.
Okay. Is he from Justified?
I don't know. I just saw the headline here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Damon Harriman. Yep, it looks like he was in Justified as the real-life cult leader. Wow, that's going to be interesting. Cool.
I can't. Yeah, what is that going to be like?
I know. I'm having a hard time imagining how Tarantino is going to portray this.
Right.
Ooh, do you think he'll go for the MKUltra, CIA, MI5 sort of angle on this, or are we going to get the official narrative of Manson? if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, you know, I don't know. That's a great question. I'd have to think about it. I don't think Quentin Tarantino movies tend to be that revelatory. I don't think they're terrible. Of course, he does adopt the sort of social justice model nowadays.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think Pulp Fiction is a good film. I don't know, man. I think Jackie Brown's good. It's a good story, crime story.
Yeah. Yeah, Kill Bill was fun.
Kill Bill's really good. I don't know. That's a great question. We'll have to see. I'm sort of bumfuddled on this one. I don't know what to say.
I would guess that it's a little too close to reality for Hollywood to get into. For him to take the Laurel Canyon sort of Dave McGowan approach to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be probably just sensational hype type. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed to. I'm thinking it'll be a little more Natural Born Killers-ish.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But actually, Natural Born Killers, I take that. Well, okay, that's actually pretty revelatory because it does. You know, that's a critique of the media. So. You know,
that's true. Yeah, right. Maybe that was not the best.
That was Tarantino and Oliver Stone. So.
Right, Tarantino wrote it and Stone directed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, well, we'll wait and see. That's definitely going to be something I want to see right when it comes out. Cool. Okay, let's see here. What's next? Anybody else want to throw anything in? I got a ton of links. I can keep going. I can go.
Dude, California.
As a real quick side note here, someone
go for it.
I just came across this in chat, and somebody had sent me this months ago. I forgot about it. In the Process Church magazine, they did a write-up back in, I don't know what the date is here. It looks late 60s, early 70s. They had a giant Savile section.
No kidding?
Yeah, a giant Savile interview in the Process Church magazine. So I've got it on the screen here.
Whoa. That's crazy.
How does that connect things for you directly to the degenerate British establishment with the direct connection to intelligence and the Process Church? Exactly.
Oh, that's chilling. Wow. All right. Yeah, if you have a link on that one, drop it to me. Actually, I'm seeing them right here on Google already. Late 60s Jimmy Savile interview in magazine from Process Church. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, yeah.
I think somebody dug that up on Hoaxbusters a couple of years ago because we discussed it on there too.
Wow. All right. Dang. I see the cover of that Process magazine too. It's got a triangle and it says Lucifer, Jehovah, Satan, the gray forces.
I know, that's what I wasn't joking when I was doing my Manson impersonation. He really did say, "I'm God and the devil. You can't conceive of it. It's not your pay grade." It's like the ultimate Gnostic philosophy.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Degenerate, disgusting Hollywood just never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, people in my chat are like, when the heck did Tom Hardy play Charles Manson? Nobody knew. Nobody heard about it.
No, that was my bad, dude. I corrected. I sent you a message. It was Bronson. It was Charles Bronson. That was that was the one. I just got the names mixed up.
Well, Tom Hardy is Bane. I don't think he's old enough, you fool. I'm just kidding, Funk. You're not a fool. That wasn't me. That was Bane calling.
Oh no, I know. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Right.
What is a Process Church? I'm not familiar with that one.
It's a degenerate cult that had intelligence connections that was in the background to the Manson cult.
Oh.
It's where Helter Skelter comes from. They were this apocalyptic, quasi-satanic cult.
Was that an OTO lodge he was part of? It's called the Agape Lodge, right?
I mean, I think there's loose connections, but no, I don't. I mean, there is a loose association to the Crowley groups, but I don't think it's directly OTO. No, it's like the guy who founded the Process Church came out of some of those circles and started his own thing. Which is, you notice all the people in those groups, Hubbard, right? I mean, they all go and start their own cults. It's kind of it's like a graduate school for creating a cult. It's really all it is. So de Grimstone is the guy who started Process Church, and he was a Roman Catholic dropout. He was, I think, a pedo. And at that time, he was, if he just waited a few decades, he would have been exalted to the cardinalate if he'd just waited a little bit. But I think at that time he was weeded out because he was like a pedo, and then he starts his own cult. So,
wow.
Yeah,
there's connections to the Church of Scientology there too, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Scientology partly comes out of this, exactly. I forget exactly. There's some connection between de Grimstone and Hubbard. I forget the whole family tree, but yeah, they were all connected.
It says, let's see, the Process Church was established in London in 1966. Its founders were the British couple Mary Ann McLean and Robert de Grimstone, and it spread across parts of the UK and US during the latter 60s and in the 70s. And it said the pair had met several years previously when they were both members of the Church of Scientology.
Okay, yeah, that's how it connects. And he's on the cover of a lot of the Process magazines. I've got him on the screen now. He tried to look like Jesus. He had this very Jesus-y look, as all of these California hippie cult leaders did. Manson wasn't the only one. If you remember, we've talked about Vito and the Freaks. We did a whole bulletin about Vito, Laurel Canyon, and he preceded Manson. And then there's another cult, I always forget their name, that was like even 10 years before Manson that was doing the same stuff. I forget what they are. But
right. Yeah, I remember that one. If I can dig that one out, I'll put it on the show page reference links so any of our new listeners can go back and check out that deep dive into that one. That one was actually, we had some audio clips we played from that guy. What a crazy cult that was.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yeah.
Vito and the Freaks.
Yeah, that's right. And he was like sober guy, but he was handing out all these drugs and alcohol to all these people, and
I think him and his woman were sober.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he didn't do LSD, but everybody around him did.
Yep. There's a I don't know how good it is or what angle they take, but it looks like there's a, I don't know if it's a documentary or a dramatization, but there's a movie called Sympathy for the Devil, the true story of the Process Church of the Final Judgment. So that's something that people can reference also if they're not familiar. The story of the Process Church. I'll link that on the show page as well so people can check that out.
I think there's a Jagger episode or issue too. So see, they were connected to the highest levels of British establishment.
Remind us what Jagger is?
Mick Jagger.
Oh, Mick Jagger. Okay. Right, yeah.
Because they were all hanging out with Kenneth Anger, and Kenneth Anger was the Crowleyan making Lucifer Rising and all those early avant-garde Luciferian movies, and they were hanging out with Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, and Sharon Tate's in Lucifer Rising, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there was wasn't one of the Beach Boys involved too?
Yeah, Brian Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Oh boy. All roads lead back to Laurel Canyon.
I had never seen. Have you seen the Kenneth Anger movie? It's so bad. It's so. What is it? I just watched it before I went on Clyde's show because we were talking about devil movies when I was on last week, Clyde Lewis. So I watched his short, which is the what's it called?
Is it Hollywood Babylon or Scorpio Rising?
Hollywood Babylon's worth watching. That's actually a pretty good documentary. Maybe it is Lucifer Rising. No, Inauguration of the Pleasure Dome. That's it.
Oh, Pleasure Dome. Okay.
It's only like 27 minutes or something. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Lucifer Rising and Inauguration of the Pleasure Dome. I watched both of those. They're very bizarre, and they feature Crowley, by the way. Not in person, but yeah, that's if you want to understand Hollywood Babylon, check those out, and then do watch the Kenneth Anger documentary, Hollywood Babylon. It's very revelatory, but you see how this connects everything. This connects the music industry and Manson and Scientology and British intelligence and the CIA. All of it intersects here, and by the way, the Mafia too, which Dave McGowan covers.
Right. Okay, cool. I've got the IMDb up for that. I'll link that on the show page tonight. Yeah, 38-minute short film by Kenneth Anger, filmed in 1954. It says Anger created 2 other versions of this film in '66 and in the late '70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very bizarre.
Jay, has anyone heard of the Foundation Church of the Millennium?
I've heard of it.
Okay, that's actually Process Church folded in 1979, and then McLean retained the allegiance of the majority of the church members, according to this article, and she reformed the group as the Foundation Church of the Millennium.
Yeah, I knew that they did still have some offshoot that still exists, and I think they have some connection to like PETA or something, or they run like an animal shelter or something.
Although this says that the Foundation Church of the Millennium went in an explicitly Christian direction. Oh, wait. It was later transformed into the Best Friends Animal Society based in Utah.
Told you.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa. Crazy. All right.
Cool.
Well, boy, this intense stuff makes all my links look stupid now. I don't know how to transition.
But did you know about the Sharon Tate part of that?
I remember that. I remember a little, from Peter Levenda's book.
So Bobby Bassolil, who was in the Magical Powerhouse of Oz, which is one of the earlier Manson bands, I think, he does the music for Lucifer Rising. And in Kenneth Anger's movie, Lucifer Rising, the woman that plays the witch is Sharon Tate. Before she was, killed or sacrificed or whatever you think. I think. Maybe I've got it wrong.
Wow, that's creepy.
Sharon Tate is a witch in one of these. I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Wasn't she supposed to give birth to the beast? Or is that someone else?
I think you're right. No, she was going to be in Rosemary's Baby, I think, and then they went with Mia Farrow because she was killed.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but in reality, not in the movie, but in reality.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Do you have inside information on this, Max?
I thought I had read something about that, like Crowley. It was Crowley, or was it? It was JPL Laboratories. What was his name?
Jack Parsons.
Parsons. Yeah, I thought Parsons was involved in a ritual that was supposed to, with her or somebody, to create,
Oh, you're talking about the Babylon working.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah. I know what you're talking. Okay. Yes. Okay. So there was speculation that Sharon Tate was supposed to participate in those rites. I forgot about that. You're right. But I don't know if she ever did. But in one of these movies, she plays a witch, and I think it's the one with Mick Jagger's in it. Mick Jagger plays the devil in one of these the Kenneth Anger movies. My Invocation of My Brother the Devil or something like that. Have you heard of that one?
I don't think so.
I'm looking her up right now. Let's see here.
That's it. Invocation of My Demon Brother has Mick Jagger in it. It's a Kenneth Anger movie. That's it. And I bet you that's the one with Sharon Tate.
One more time. What's it called again?
Invocation of My Demon Brother. Mick Jagger plays himself. Bobby Bassolio is Lucifer in it. The guy who was in Manson's band.
Okay. Yeah, 1969 short film. Yep, Kenneth Anger, Bobby Bassolio. There it is.
I don't see Sharon Tate in that, so...
I don't either. I wouldn't be surprised if they scrubbed her from it, though, on the IMDb.
She's a witch in some movie. I remember.
We'll find her. We'll find it, and we'll get it on the show page. Boy, we're going to send a bunch of people down a really crazy rabbit hole of old movies here
Sunbell in the
tonight.
chat
Jay's
says
analysis.
Sharon Tate was a witch in Eye of the Devil,
That's
a Brit
it.
movie worth watching.
That's it.
Ah, Sunbell. Nailed it.
Thank you, Sunbell.
I have the
Yeah,
Devil. Who did that?
1966.
Okay. No, I don't know who that one is. Okay.
There it is. Workers employed at a French vineyard follow old pagan rituals that call for the life of the marquis owner to save his crops during dry seasons, with Sharon Tate.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so it all goes back to Crowley, because
Yeah.
I'm reading here that Dick Grimstone made a trip to visit the ruins of Thelema Abbey, the commune established in the 1920s by British occultist Aleister Crowley. This was between 1967 and 1968.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Whew. There we go, folks. Down in the depths of old cults, Hollywood insanity, cultism. Ooh, nasty stuff here. This makes my next article sound totally dumb. The next one I had in my list was Mom files federal lawsuit after son doesn't make high school soccer team.
There's got to be a connection to the Process Church there.
All right. Hey, Funk Soul, you still there? All right. Looks like Funk Soul's bailing out. It's getting late over there in the UK. Funk Soul, thanks for joining us tonight. Infidel, Pharaoh, and Funk Soul, thanks for joining us for the early part of the show. Appreciate you guys showing up. I know it was very late for one of you and very travel-y for the other. Okay, you're listening to Boiler Room number, 186 on Alternate Current Radio. I'm joined by the lovely Spore, by Max, and by Jay Dyer of jaysanalysis.com. Let's see here, guys. What do you guys want to talk about next? We've got, we could talk Kavanaugh. That thing is still, was it 3 weeks now? It's been the main trending topic on Twitter, and
man, I'm so sick of that thing. Aren't you guys?
I'm sick of it too, dude. I mean, geez, is it not painfully obvious enough that this is a sham yet?
It should have been from the beginning. It really should have.
Yeah.
I think it was obvious. It was obvious that she was a fake witness.
Absolutely.
She was just brought in there to dismantle any of Trump's selections.
Well, and then it came out that she is this mind control specialist that works for the CIA, aids the CIA, trains them in polygraph stuff, and she does all this high-tech DARPA level mind interface stuff. Did you see all that?
I did see that, yeah, she's coached people on how to get through lie detector tests, and I saw some connections there. Got
some people dug up her papers. That's her like grad and later post-grad papers she's written, and it's pretty high level. It's like brain initiative level type stuff.
Right. Her father has worked for the CIA. Yeah. Her brother's got connections. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Here, let's. Here's one. So I saw this somewhere. I stole it and screen capped it. So whoever wrote this, good job. Nice summation. Here we go. Here's the logic here. I don't know whose house it happened at or even what year it happened. I don't know if I got there before everyone else or after. I don't know how I got there or how I got home over 8 miles away at the age of 15. My lifetime friend doesn't remember any of this, and the other 3 people I said were there testified under oath that they don't know anything about this. I have a fear of flying, but have no problem jet setting all over the world while on vacation. I've been on airplanes more in the past 2 months than most people in a year, but my fear is completely legit. This all started during a house remodel. I really wanted double doors. My hubby said no, so I reminded him about my sexual assault. We go to a therapist. I remember 4 guys doing this to me is what I tell them. The therapist agreed and I got my double doors. It really raised our curb appeal, so much so that Google interns regularly hold parties and meetings at our home. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know who paid for my hotel and polygraph test the afternoon of my grandmother's funeral, or maybe it was the next day. Who knows? And guess what? I flew there. Oh, and that polygraph, it was only 2 questions, neither of which were about Kavanaugh. But hey, I passed, so that's all that matters. And my PhD is in psychology, definitely in no way helped me with it or my testimony. My friends on the beach encouraged me to continue contacting the media with my story because we were running out of time. I can't name them, so we'll just call them beach friends. Yet, while giving such great advice, none were willing to be character witnesses. Meanwhile, Judge Kavanaugh had hundreds of character witnesses set up in a matter of days. My lawyers, out of the kindness of their hearts, are helping me for free, yet I have a needed GoFundMe page that's currently sitting at $473,000 plus. I'm so desperately in need of help, there's even a second GoFundMe with over $200,000. I promise, though, I'm not getting anything out of my testimony. The money's just going to cover my expenses. I'm super smart. I have a PhD. I teach grad students. I know lots of big words, but it should be totally believable that I don't understand basic questions. I was the only person in the United States that didn't know Congress agreed to come to me instead of me going to D.C. They really do care about my flying phobia, after all. So, yeah, that's pretty much a good summary there of the mindset of this wackadoo. And then the story of the other lady totally fell apart this week, pretty much on live television. So this thing is, I don't know, I think it's getting a little bit old here. Oh, one thing that I haven't heard said very much, I talked to Mark Anderson on Friday. We did a pop-up live stream with Mark Anderson, and he cued me into this one. Hold on here, let me add Spore to this call really quick. Add the call. Okay, you should be good there, Spore. Christine Blasey Ford published 8 studies about the abortion pill and works for a company that produces it. So, vested interest here, a little skin in the game, perhaps. This one I haven't seen tossed around a whole lot yet. While working for Stanford University, she was affiliated with Corcept Therapeutics between 2006 and 2011. One of her pages describes her as director of biostatistics at Corcept. And this company has a $1.6 billion worth with current annual sales of $216 million. And of course, liberals and feminists are very worried that Kavanaugh may participate in reversing Roe versus Wade. So there's another interesting connection there. There's just so many reasons to not qualify this person. It's just beyond ridiculous. And at this point, I mean, I don't know. Kavanaugh's obviously going to get approved at this point, right? I mean, did you guys see the look on Crypt Keeper Feinstein's face today after the what is this, 7th investigation finally came out? She looked like she was going to cry. I think she might have been crying, actually.
I didn't see that.
It's kind of funny. It is kind of funny. So I think this one is going to get put to bed pretty soon here, but it's not going to go away because, of course, they're going to keep coming after him and Trump, I'm sure. But man, I'm excited for this to go away.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. It's like the Skripal case, you know. You hear
yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's beating a dead horse now.
They're just running out of stuff, I think.
I think so.
They're, you know, and I guess the good thing about it dominating the news for so long is it's red pilling a lot of people, you know, who were maybe on the fence before. People are, you know, we're not the only ones that are getting sick of this. There's got to be a lot of people who are, you know, seeing what the left is doing here at this point. So I hope that goes away. I would like to see the confirmation happen as soon as possible. And, you know, they're also trying to block this latest investigation from coming out. I would like to see that be made completely public. Because there's going to be nothing there. And, you know, here's another thing, another angle on this story that I was thinking about. Just a question. Why is it that it took 411 days after 9/11 for an investigation to begin? Yet a conservative judge who's, you know, I have my gripes with him with regards to Fourth Amendment, but as Daniel eloquently said, by Washington standards, this guy's pretty milquetoast, not a whole lot to balk about. Yet we've got random accusations, baseless accusations with no facts, no witnesses, no legal cases behind them. 30-some years ago, triggering investigations right away. Yet something big like 9/11, we'll give it 411 days before we start an investigation, you know, set up a chairman, set up an investigatory team. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I have a good, I don't know, 10 links on this situation that I'll put on the show page. If anyone is still digging into this, I mean, it's getting to the point where it's like, geez, just end it already. Confirm the dude.
This is so, the whole thing is stupid.
It is, man. It is so stupid. I mean, it was kind of nice to get away from Russiagate for a few weeks, but, I mean, this bullshit, this is just going to be pushing, you know, we've got midterm elections coming up. This is going to push a lot more people to the red, I think. A lot of voters that may not have been voting red are going to swell, I think.
Well, there are, 3 or 4 congressional races coming up, right, that are neck and neck right now.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Reds may end up picking up a few seats, depending on how it goes.
Yeah.
3 or 4 seats.
Yep. Well, I would not. It seems logical to me. I mean, it seems like people are walking away in mass, and this is just pushing more people away. It may be drawing in like the psycho college crowd, perhaps. Speaking of the psycho college crowd, there was a Antifa attacking peaceful gun rights marchers this last week. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
No, what is this?
At Kent State, we had, so there's young Democratic socialists violently assault police and gun owners at Kent State. So on Saturday, a young woman by the name of Caitlin Bennett returned to Kent State to lead an open carry walk at her alma mater. The walk came just months after her graduation photos, which she took with an AR-10 rifle. Obviously, that sparked a conversation or an outrage about gun rights on college campuses. And she announced the walk as a rally back in August, but the university's communications with Caitlin and student group that supported her, called Liberty Hangout at Kent State, led to some changes, so it ended up being a walk. After the university attempted to charge the student group more than $14,000 in security fees to host the rally, Bennett and the group decided to cancel the rally and instead did a walk around the campus. So this Saturday they armed up, did open carry, and they proceeded to walk around the campus. And hundreds of counter-protesters swarmed onto the scene, rushing to the front of the walk to bombard Bennett and the other people that were marching there. And there were masked Antifa present, and they were immediately pushing police officers to try to get to Bennett. So the walk came to a standstill after just a few minutes in, and left-wing agitators linked arms in front of the cops and the gun rights advocates to prevent them from walking any further. And then soon after, one of the protesters chucked a fake grenade at the walkers to elicit a reaction. This is just amazing, these people. But I'm sure much to their dismay, everyone remained calm still. And then brawls broke out with the police during the standstill as some of these Antifa types attempted to get past the police line. There was a lot of cops there to get into the pro-Second Amendment walkers there. And 4 left-wing protesters were arrested, one of which was arrested for assaulting a police officer. So Kent State, big uproar there, Antifa. There's I think it's actually on Caitlin Bennett's Twitter site. You can see a little bit of video from that. And they've also got the identification of a couple of these dudes that were, menacing the group here, trying to agitate the gun owners. One of these guys, Comaraccio, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, can be seen yelling, "Get to the front," alongside a violent group of Antifa. Fake grenade can be seen being hurled from that dude's general direction. And there's also video of some of these tolerant leftists calling all of the people there for their peaceful march, calling them faggots. So, yeah, way to go college, way to go leftist college commies, young democratic socialists. That's the YDSA over there at Kent State.
You said leftists were calling people faggots.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so you can use the term faggot in a pejorative way as a leftist.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to, steer clear of even going there on the airwaves here, but I mean, I think it's worth stating because of exactly what you just pointed out. It's like, well, hey, wait a minute. I thought we weren't allowed to use this as a pejorative. That's homophobic and anathema to the ideology of the left. But I guess if you're aiming it at Second Amendment supporters, it's forgivable?
I suppose so.
I don't know how the hell we're ever to make sense of these people. I really don't. Yeah. And of course, they're taking, stealing people's flags, grabbing people's signs. I saw other tweets and video from other colleges this week of similarly minded students taking conservative student signs and ripping them up and hitting them in the face with them and going full Trigglypuff and freaking out, and it's just amazing. And as far as I know, none of these people have been called in or expelled or suspended or had any sort of scholastic investigation started on them or anything. I mean, I can't imagine how it would feel to be a non-leftist student at a place like Kent State and have to deal with the Young Democratic Socialists of America chapters running around in their masks and doing this kind of activity. Hard to imagine. And there's even footage that was captured of some of these YDSA members assaulting police officers who were not arrested. So I mean, some of these guys are taking on this line of cops and not even being arrested, which kind of makes me think back to like what happened in Berkeley, back in 2017 or whatever. Berkeley, Sacramento, geez, we've covered a number of places where political marches and clashes like this, where the leftist foot soldiers, if you will, can just operate unhinged, burn shit down, assault people, hit people with bike locks, spray them with acid, punch, kick, hit with sticks. So I don't know what's going on there. Let's see here. Kent State put out a statement addressing the events of last Saturday, and they said, all laws and policies of the university remain in full effect during this walk. Individuals found in violation of the law will be subject to citation or arrest. Students may also face student conduct sanctions up to and including suspension or expulsion. They make a similar statement toward their faculty and staff. But as of now, it's presently unclear if the university is aware of their Young Democratic Socialists' involvement in the violent activities and whether or not the students will be charged and or expelled as they stated. So that's what happened at Kent State, everybody. And let's see, Caitlin actually tweeted this.
Caitlyn Jenner?
No, Caitlin Bennett. Caitlin Gender probably best kept her mouth shut. Bennett. Oh yeah, okay. So that's where I don't even want to say it again. She's talking about what I said earlier, and she says, funny how at Kent State was worried our walk would threaten the values and diversity. The values of diversity and inclusion, yet it's the left that acted like this. And what more do you need to say? So that's what's happening in the colleges. I would not pay to go to one of those if I was a young person right now.
No, don't waste your money.
Terrible waste of money. Terrible waste of money. I mean, unless you have a very specific career goal and you know exactly what piece of paper you need and you're willing to put yourself in that environment to get it, I just don't see why young non-liberals would even go.
I mean, quite aside from liberalism, the student loan debt is so terrible now. It's like, why would you even put yourself in that situation?
Oh, yeah. It's awful. It's one of our many bubbles right now. Maybe the next bubble to burst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that bad.
Whatever the next bubble. Sorry, whatever the next bubble is, it could cause a chain reaction of bubbles.
Yeah, and really it's just symptomatic of, the whole economy at this point. I just read an interesting statistic today that 60%, I have a hard time believing this, but 60% of Americans don't have $500 readily available as savings.
I saw similar, and being a member of the Social Reject Club, I don't have a whole lot of friends anymore at this point, but of the people I do know, I'd say it might even be more than 60%.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so many Americans living paycheck to paycheck. It is crazy. Or living on credit, even worse than paycheck to paycheck. And, you try to live in a state like California. We pound on California a lot. But, I mean, as we've pointed out on other episodes, you can't even do it. Even people that have jobs that make $100,000 or more a year in certain parts of California cannot afford housing there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's just nuts. Absolutely nuts. That's why people are leaving in droves. One of many reasons. All right, well, speaking of California, let's try this one on for size. California becomes the first state to require women on corporate boards. That's right. The state is going to require this. California has become the first state to require publicly traded companies to include women on their boards of directors. Governor Jerry Brown approved the legislation. What's the date on this? Recently, Sunday, that forces changes at California-based corporations by 2020. Some 25% of publicly held corporations with headquarters in California don't have any women on their boards of directors. So Jerry Brown approved this legislation, and this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. I mean, I don't think anyone in their right mind has any problem with women being on boards of directors, but to mandate it, to force it, I mean, this is like diversity hires on LSD and crack at the same time.
It's straight up sexist. It's saying you can have this position because of your gender. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the most hypocritical shit.
Yeah.
Your qualifications don't matter. If you have a uterus, then you're qualified. It doesn't matter, your skills or background or anything like that. It's just based on gender. It's completely sexist.
But I thought that gender was a social construct that we weren't supposed to believe in anymore.
Well, hey, I guess that's the thing. If you're a man and you want to be on one of these boards, you just, let them know how you feel. You really feel like a woman. So then that should be able to get you on that board, right?
True. Yeah, you just wake up and do the Caitlyn Jenner thing, and wow, yeah, maybe you might wonder if that counts. We're getting into some contradictory areas here.
That's the theme.
Yeah. Stupid idiots are running into their own illogical contradictions. We've been told over and over that gender is a social construct, but maybe that's only when it comes to destroying families and pushing sexual agendas and ruining education and abusing kids. But then, of course, there are only two genders when it comes to diversity hiring and the requirement to believe all women all the time and this kind of stuff.
Now, to play devil's advocate here just a little bit, it's possible that they're just saying, we want you to choose from among a pool of qualified females. But you could still run into problems, because if you have a guy and a girl walking in, sitting down for an interview, and the company has a quota, there may be character flaws in the woman that you don't have in the guy, or something else, but you've got to fulfill this quota. And now the guy who really ought to be there gets passed over. So,
yeah,
that's exactly it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was done.
Yeah, I mean, what if they're both, from a qualified pool, and one of them has, 15 years. The man has 15 years experience, and the woman has 5 years of experience. The company is, say there's only those two. The company is forced to choose the candidate with less experience.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So, State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson says, having more women on boards will make companies more successful. Yeah, well, you're amazing business mind there, Senator Jackson. That's a Santa Barbara Democrat who authored the measure. California Chamber of Commerce has argued that the composition of corporate boards should be determined internally, not mandated by the government. And that the new law will prioritize gender over other aspects of diversity. Well, there's another, what about the ethnic diversity requirements that are already in place in California? What if you have an African-American man and a woman, and you haven't met your African-American requirement? How do you decide?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Good example.
I'm gonna have to call it a night, guys. I'm gonna have to check out. I'm flying to Los Angeles tomorrow, so I have to call it a night.
All right, Jay. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. You got any final words or anything you want to make sure the audience gets in their ears before you bail out?
No, I don't think so. If you're in the LA area, come October 13th to Malibu to Topanga Canyon, and you can go to the fair, Mercado Sagrado Fair, and I'll be speaking. Should be a pretty large crowd. Not just me, but actually a lot of pretty big name musicians will be playing. A lot of artsy stuff there. So it's a big venue. It's not just to hear Jay speak. It's thousands of people, tons of artists, and organic food, all kinds of stuff like that. So, and then I'll be on with Sam Tripoli around that same week. And so anyway, look for all that. And thanks for having me on tonight, guys. And thank you to all the Jay's Analysis super chatters. I already read all the Jay's Analysis super chats, but thank you guys, and have a good night.
All right, you too, Jay. Safe travels and have fun out there in California. Tell it hi for the boiler room.
All right, will do.
Be safe, Jay.